Your book. So why you said that you knew eventually you would write a book,
right?
But
yeah.
you thought it was to be a lot further down the line.
Absolutely, yes.
Why now then?
This deal turned up. America says, "Okay, we want to do a book with you," and then Britain said, "We're going to come in on that deal," and then Germany said they're going to. It's coming out in Germany as well. Alice Outdoors.
That's incredible.
I just thought I already have a documentary that came out called Believe, the documentary. And this is Believe, the me version of Believe, and it's quite good. Some people look at me and say, "Well, I'm not going to be interested in them because of this." I do comedy that's kind of surreal. That's not their cup of tea. This sort of gets the message out that you're a human being and what you're about and the struggles I've been through. You know, everyone goes through their struggles, but I'm allowed this position, and I thought I'd just get the message out. And
has it been
People
difficult?
have made assumptions about you, haven't they? You've kind of confounded them to a certain extent, and because your mother died when you were very young.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people make the leap, oh, well, his mum died when he was young, and therefore he wants to dress as a woman, and that's the story. But that's not the story.
I really don't feel it is. I'm from a scientific perspective, I try and keep the gates open, but I knew when I was 4, I knew when before she died, I was wearing her clothes before she died. My dad says, I don't remember that. It's just been, I think it's built in. You've talked to lesbian, gay, transgender people, they seem to know they're very young, and I don't think you could say mum dying locked something in, but I don't think so.
You were 6 when your mum died and your brother was 8. How hard was that for you? Because you then got sent to boarding school.
It's just rough. It's the first chapter is about the day my mum died, and you know, and then Dad disappeared for 2/3 of the year because we were at a boarding school. So I didn't like it until I was teenage years. It's probably easier to go to something like that.
You said that you almost shut down all feeling. Didn't you?
This was the saddest bit of the book for me. Actually, is just deciding I'm going to switch off my emotions because it's too difficult.
It's a coping mechanism. It's I think a lot of kids have done it. Anyone who goes to a boarding school, anyone who goes into war situations. If you I stopped crying at 11, and then I could survive easier because if somebody tried to beat me up or whatever or intimidate me, then I wouldn't cry, so they wouldn't know how far they wouldn't know how far they'd upset you. And then at 19, I ripped that back open because I realised that I was dead inside. And I think a lot of kids that go to boarding school become dead.
Have you had therapy at all? Did that help you? You've just done this yourself.
All self-doing. I mean, I could have had therapy, and it's probably a good thing to do. I just didn't find the right.
Do you find that stand-up is your form of therapy? Because a lot of therapy involves just writing your feelings and putting it out there, and sort of there's a two-way conversation normally in one little room with one other person, whereas you do it globally and in many different languages.
Yes, it is definitely very therapeutic, and it's very positive, you know. And if I'm going over to other countries, and I was in Istanbul, you know, it's a Muslim country, and I turned up wearing a skirt, and at the moment they're going more conservative, and I went on stage wearing a skirt. There was applause, and then they saw I was wearing a skirt, and the applause went up. I felt this reaction from the progressives in Istanbul saying this is a positive thing. And, you know, around the world, we're having a tough time. 2016 was a lot of, I feel, moving backwards. I want to keep moving forwards. I'm proud of my country. I want to reach out to other countries. Can we learn from you? Can you learn from us? And this